But here's the deck that I want to play today. It's got 4 copies of Invasion of Mercadia, which is a kind of a bad Faithless Looting type effect where you discard a card and then you draw 2 when it enters the battlefield, but the backside is a 3/3 that you can pay 3, discard a card, create 2 1/1s. Your entire team gets +1/+0 and haste, which I think might be kind of cool, and I wanted to play this with a couple copies of Kroxa as well as some Persist to get back Grief and Fury. I thought about playing Archon of Cruelty in this list, but the last time I played Archon of Cruelty and Scam, it made me very, very sad because it was the worst draw of all time in the late game. I was thinking about putting Archon in here, but I just don't think I want to free up the slots for Archon. So that's my current 2-drop sweep. I really wanted to play Archon, but man, it just sucks when you draw in the late game. You're like, this is so uncastable. So we went with a slimmer version with just some Grief, Furies, and Spyros to reanimate, as well as the 2 Kroxas to get out of the graveyard. You can't persist Kroxa, which is like a little bit unfortunate, but I think most of the time you'll have one of these 12 creatures in the graveyard anyways, at some point during the game. Let's give it a try. I don't know how it's going to do. My prediction is that we're going to win a lot of game 1s, and then lose a lot of post-board matches, because we're going to be even weaker to graveyard hate. That would be my guess. Let's give it a shot. Looking pretty bad so far. Mulligan. Let's get a better hand. It scams. I'm going to keep it. Now, it scams the Fury, so depending on the matchup, this will either be really good or really bad, but I think I'm just going to lead on turn 1 Thoughtseize. Not a good draw. Oh, good. Good, excellent. It's Creativity, and they have 2 copies of Creativity, which means I'm going to scam this Fury next turn, and it's going to be a base race for the ages. Because, man, I don't think I'm going to be able to beat that Creativity unless I run into land and play a Blood Moon, maybe. Alright, come on, running lands. Or removal. I'll take removal, too. Uh-oh. Dingo's in trouble. How's Dingo gonna get out of this one? Request Lo-Fi Halo. Alright, we can do that. SD! What a scam. You know what's not a scam? That 250 from your Twitch Prime. I appreciate it. Welcome back for the 2 months. Thank you, thank you. Removal! I'm dead. I'm so dead. Cycle Xander's Lounge. If they just go for it, X equals 1. They probably have to. Oh, they drew a Fable? Yeah. Most certainly not game. I'm pretty sure we're still dead. So if I bolt the Goblin Shaman, they fetch a Dwarf and they block, and then they untap, play Dwarf, and then fetch, and then Creativity X1, so I think I just have to attack and pass, and hope they mess up by going for it X1 and not having another Dwarf in mind. Yeah, I think I have to bolt this at the beginning of combat. And they might not have another fetch in the top 3. If I had another Fury, then it would have been game, because I got to like Fury this and then bolt that and kill them, but we're probably dead now. They discarded the fetch. Bolt this, die. Sadness. Dwarven Mine, make a token, X1, I sack my Fury, discard a card, and there's no coming back from that. Just want to see the Archon. Yep. There's no coming back from that. Okie dokie. More Blood Moons. More lands. That'd be nice. Maybe I don't want these Terminates. Maybe, actually, I'd probably take out the Bolts instead of the Terminates. And what else do I want in this matchup? Explosives. If I trim a Persist and a Kroxa. Kroxa kind of helps them in a way. But I definitely want the Blood Moons and the EEs. Yeah, we could probably just submit like that. I don't think I want the Kolaghan's Command. Sometimes Kolaghan's Command is good against them, sometimes it's just terrible. But I might be going too low on removal against an Archon. Bolting 1/1s is, like, not very effective, in my experience. What's up, Manny? I think I could probably keep this, play a turn 1 Fury, pitching the Spyro, and then just hope to rip land for Blood Moon. That's fine. -1 card from the opponent. Pitch the Spyro. I think I want this Terminate because it's more castable. And I'm just gonna hope they don't have a Leyline binding. There's no Leyline binding. Guess we won't see it until turn 2. Okay, Card Hoarder has been sending me messages because I tried to return cards that I was in a Pioneer League with, and I never finished that Pioneer League, and now they won't stop messaging me. I'm sorry, Card Hoarder. I repent for my sins and my crimes. But it doesn't have to be this way. Alright, go. Don't bind me. They're gonna bind me. Okay, well, that gets me to 3rd land. Oh, they're not gonna bind me? Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. In the Grief here. Grief does nothing. Land in a dead Thoughtseize. If you deal forward with itself, technically you could. That's not gonna be good enough, opponent. We got the Terminate for the Fable token. Looks like we're gonna take this game. That's not good enough. Get your pathetic cards out of here. Tosses them in the ocean. Tosses Goblin Shaman token in the ocean. I think is that Goblin Shaman token still worth like $10, chat? Did they ever print it again? Still $10. That's insane. Do I want a couple of lightning bolts? Maybe I take a couple lightning bolts over a couple Ragavans on the draw. I think Ragavan gets a lot worse on the draw because of Ren 6. Yeah, the token's expensive. I think I'm gonna take a mulligan on this hand. It's simply just not good enough. This hand's also not good enough. These have been pretty land heavy hands. Like the first hand had 4, second one had 5, third one had 5. I'm looking for like 3 lands. 3 lands would be great. But I think we have to keep this and hope to rip well off the top. Actually, I'm gonna keep the castle. I'll put those 2 back. Yeah, we're not in good shape. The more time you give this deck, the more likely they are to win. Which is why this hand's not very good. Yeah, we're gonna need that castle. Especially if they Veil of Summer me here. Don't Veil of Summer me. They're gonna Veil of Summer me. Ah, I hate everything. Here lies Dingo. Gone, somewhat forgotten, and very, very dead. They kept a 1-lander? Dingo needs a new pair of Blood Moon. One time I put my head to it and decided to open boosters until I opened the token, thinking it'll be cheaper that way. Long story short, I stopped after I opened the second Fable and still 0 tokens. Oh, I kind of probably made your money back, right? From the Fables, at least. Imagine if we kept that first hand, yeah, we would have just dunked on them pretty hard. But I didn't think they would keep a 1-lander. On 7, nonetheless. Why did they keep a 1-lander on 7? By explosives over Ratchet Bomb, I like explosives because of the flexibility of it. It's good against decks like Prowess also and Hammer. This card is much better against Hammer than Ratchet Bomb. I think we just discard Swamp. I'm probably going to fetch a Swamp anyways. Well, now this is awkward. Alright, yeah, it's a little bit awkward. That's fine though. We draw Blood Moon, we're going to be locked out of mana. But I think it's probably still worth it to Blood Moon them given the opportunity. Oh, here comes Ren in 6. They're never going to miss another land drop for the rest of the game. Well, this sucks. We're for sure going to lose this game. And that first hand actually would have been good enough to get there, which is just crazy to me. Dashing Ragavan doesn't do much. I still have Lightning Bolt. They had red-green, meaning that their likely removal spell in hand is Lightning Bolt anyways, so dashing it just takes up more mana on my turn. Up Terra. Fury? Maybe? I'm gonna discard the Swamp here. Well, I don't know if Blood Moon's good enough. We had one land at the time when I played the Ragavan. They drew the second land. I should have played an EE on 2. I just didn't want to blow up my invasions also, but maybe I just don't care about the invasions at this point in the game. Alright, we're gonna Blood Moon and we're gonna float a black mana and see what they do. Now, Fury can't hit invasions. In Paper Magic, Fury can hit invasions. Mangu much? I mean, Mangu's not wrong. Okay. Maybe we have a chance? Maybe we have a chance. We don't have access to black mana anymore, but maybe that's okay. Creativity me into a Spyro. Still don't have black mana. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna send the Spyro at them. They set one of the invasions. And I'm probably gonna bolt the invasion at end step. Oh, never mind. I'm bolting that instead. Change of plans. That's dying, but not right now. We could top deck something. We didn't. Bolt this, and then we'll flip this. I don't even know if it's worth it to flip this, to be honest. It will be if we can rip another Seasoned Pyromancer. Yeah, I also have a lot of dead cards. Maybe I can beat an Archon with it. Kind of asking for a lot to be able to beat an Archon with it, but maybe. 1, 2. They're about to Archon next turn. So I'm thinking maybe I should just grief them instead. The chances they have multiple. Nah, I think I just go on this plan. I'm just gonna send everything at them. I have to kill them. And they're about to Archon me next turn. Because the Fable's gonna flip and then they're gonna Creativity the Fable. There's nothing I can do about it. Now they're at 2. Let's say they do Archon me. I sack a token, I discard the grief, I draw a card, I make more tokens, I attack them with everything, and that should kill them. Okay, okay. Wow, I didn't think we were gonna win the match. But yeah, it scams, and then I can persist it back too if it gets killed. I thought I was dead that game, but they missed a lot of land drops. I think I pitch Persist. I don't think Persist is going to be good in this hand. I'll take both your things, though, your hammer and your Stoneforge. Your turn. You get nothing! You lose! Good day, opponent! Actually, I don't know if they lose. They could rip very well off the top. Like, if they draw another Stoneforge Mystic. They draw another Stoneforge, I don't draw a land, they can just, like, Cauldron me and kill me. I guess I could Thoughtseize the Cauldron out of their hand. Maybe we'll be okay. I actually think I should hold the Thoughtseize for in case they draw a Stoneforge Mystic. So next turn I'm going to play Ragavan, assuming they don't cast Stoneforge Mystic. Stream Decker back up. Stream Decker's back. Welcome back, Stream Decker. Alright, let me export this and upload it. There you go, now the deck's up on Stream Decker. Attack you. Opponent says, I've been attacked. I feel attacked. Ragavan go. Does it ever feel like Scam is super powerful on turn 1 and turn 8? It usually depends. I think scamming a Fury can be incredibly powerful even on turn 8, but scamming Grief is not very effective in the late game, because the opponent usually doesn't have a hand. Turn 1, they're both pretty powerful. I don't even think I get to attack with the Ragavan. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to attack with the Ragavan, because they could animate an Inkmoth Nexus and then give it protection. I'm just going to send with this. Does anyone know who the first person to call it scam is? I have no idea, to be honest. I just know the deck has existed ever since Modern Horizons 2 came out, but it was never really popular for a while. It had its moment, and then it would die down. It was like a fad back after Modern Horizons came out. And most of the builds were also black-white instead of black-red. I think we just terminate this. Why Scam always played with all alt art, excuse me. It's because, I mean, it just looks better, right? It's like, damn. My hands drip. Unless you're a purist like DT who's like, I will not play with alt art cards ever. I am too cool for alt art cards. Old bordered looks the best. And it's like, alright, well, you could play this deck with like mostly old borders too, except for the elementals. A block? Okay, that's fine. Good job, Ragavan. I feel like I'm just passing. I don't think there's a ton I'm scared of here. Yeah, DT is the old man shaking Cloud at fist. Or fist at Cloud. I'm getting his brain worms from talking to him too much. Shakes fists at Cloud. Yeah, here comes the Sanctifier for sure. I think Kroxa is not great in this matchup, and Persist can probably be cut as well. I think I usually bring in 3 Blood Moons in this matchup. I'm going to take out all the Ragavans. Take the Kolaghan's command and the extra Terminate. I think this is okay. I don't like overloading on Blood Moons, because if they're playing the mono white version, which I'm not 100% sure if they are, then they have a lot of basic planes to go get. Alright, Terry, have a good day. Thanks for stopping by. They have a Hollow Fountain. I didn't pay super close attention to their mana base. But if they're not Bant, like Bant's the one where I'd bring in 4 Blood Moons, right? Because Bant's playing Haywire Might also. You get to shut off the green. Unless they have Springleaf Drum. I don't think this hand's good enough. This hand's probably fine. I'll put back the Undying effect. Sure. I'm going to Thoughtseize the Sanctifier, as opposed to play the EE on 1 here. Assuming they have a Sanctifier in hand. It's the biggest threat to me. I do have a guide on my Patreon. I have Hammer, Paladin, Paladin. I think I'm gonna take a Paladin here, and then set up for EE on 1. Urza Saga's pretty good though. Yeah, I'm gonna take a Paladin. I have very much removal in my hand. I really want this EE to be on 1. Stoneforge Mystic. It's really good. Really, really good. We're getting a Cauldron. Okay, we drew the answer. I think we have to go ahead and fire that off now. Before they can get the Cauldron down. We got really lucky to draw the answer there. There's a good chance we just like died to that Cauldron this game. Couldn't do anything about it. We didn't draw a 3rd land, which is great for us. I think I'm just gonna take this opportunity to cast Seasoned Pyromancer and discard Grief Kroxa. Yeah, we'll bin these 2. Let's save the EE on 1. Okay. It's not terrible. We have EE on 1 now, and then we have Kroxa from the graveyard. I wonder if they brought in any sort of graveyard hate for Kroxa. I'm gonna guess they have at least 1 piece of graveyard hate. Maybe a lantern. I have to imagine they might be getting a 0 drop with a hammer in hand. Like an Ornithopter, Memnite. Most likely Ornithopter. Gingerbrute. Okay, that makes sense too. They can smack me for 10 here, and then they're going to lose the whole board. They don't have another hammer. They have another hammer plus a land. That's going to get us. Okay, I'll take 11. Begrudgingly. I want to cast that too, but I can't right now. I'll just pop this on one right now before they have any sort of blacksmith skill. And I'm sending it with the team. We'll fetch Swamp, Blood Moon. You could have skill, but yeah. A lot of them are running Surge. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They're gonna start attacking me. I think I need to grief here and take the Pure Steel. I don't think I can fetch either. Good chance that they're gonna attack me. I have to attack them back for 7. But I'm winning on board right now. They can't really attack me. Otherwise they're gonna take 7 on the crackback and then I win the race. And if they don't attack me, I'm just gonna send it with the grief. Alright, so I'm gonna Blood Moon, but I can't fetch. I'm gonna hold this land in case we draw the invasion. We're gonna have 1 black source for the rest of this game, which is probably okay. Very no blocker. No blocker? I have a blocker, we're in trouble. We need a draw removal spell if they have a blocker. No blocker, okay. Plays out another hammer. Ooh, we drew Kolaghan's command. So if we send it with the whole team, that puts them to 5, and then Kolaghan's command's lethal. Nice, we got there. We beat the Sanctifier. Sanctifier? I barely know her. And now she's dead. Well, she's not dead, she lived. Discard 2 damage. That one's dead though. Hey Jen, how you doing? Not with this hand though. This hand's probably okay. His battle's been so good. Yep. Thoughtseize. I think I'm gonna lead on the turn 1 Grief into the turn 2 Thoughtseize. Or the turn 1 Fury rather. Into the turn 2 Thoughtseize. We could have Force Negation here. A Force Negation is gonna be good against us no matter what. I really need to clock them. Alright, that's pretty good. Yep, clock. So I could persist back this Fury, but it's really bad if they have a Shardless Agent or Violent Outburst. I think I'm just gonna Thoughtseize. I don't know. Maybe I just have to get lucky. I'm getting back a Riverwinder and probably a Waker of Waves here. I'm gonna go with the Persist line. I don't think we're beating a turn 3 Shardless Agent anyways. I think we have to get lucky. Like, even if I Thoughtseize them and they cycle into another Shardless Agent, I'm still dead. Not beating the Shardless on 3. Alright, I give up. Let's go to post-board games. We should have a much better matchup in the post-board games. Blood Moons. Kroxa is pretty bad in this matchup. Take the Kroxas out, take the Lightning Bolts out, Persists out. And that's probably good, right? Yeah, I think that's good. I think I'm going to keep this hand. Mostly off the back of the Chalice. I'm going to play the Chalice on 1. I would have preferred a Leyline hand, I think. But this is pretty good too. I'm going to wait and see if we can draw a black card. I think Rakdos game version is better than the Jund version. I haven't tested the Jund version enough, but I would probably be inclined to agree with you. Just because this list is like more well thought out and pretty stock, but at this point, I think that you're better off playing the Rakdos version for now. Maybe once the Nissa version gets optimized a little bit more, it'll be better. Okie dokie. Your turn. Still looking to draw a black card here. Blood Moon. I think I'm going to play Swamp. Dash the Ragavan, see what they do. How many teeth do you own? How many teeth are in the human mouth? 32. Mostly in the green splash. Alright, let's grief them. They have a subtlety, pitching a Shardless agent. I'm actually going to put this grief on top. It's a pretty good follow-up to this Blood Moon. I fetched around the Blood Moon. I think I'm still going to cast Blood Moon, though. They have Petty Theft. No Petty Theft. Nope, no extra teeth. Endurance, Violent Outburst. They also have an Otawara. I'll take the Violent Outburst. The Otawara scares me. What's the best McNugget sauce? I haven't got a McDonald's in many a year, but probably sweet and sour. Okay, they're probably going to Otawara my Chalice at the end step here. We got to push quite a bit of damage. Vigor. Another Mercadia. I have a Subtlety and a Curator. I think I'm just going to pass. I might want to persist this grief back at some point. We'll see. Would you consider adding more green cards besides Ren and Nissa? Yeah, I was thinking about it. There's a lot of options you have in green. I'm not sure what the optimal number of green cards is. Like, do you want to play Endurance? Personally, I wasn't a fan of Endurance. But you could. But looking for Violent Outburst here. They're down to 1. The bunny. They gave up. Alright. Is there anything better I can bring in instead of this Persist? I don't really like this Persist in the matchup. I guess it's fine. Let's leave it. I like his hand quite a bit. They're both getting to 5 also. It's a bub. It's going right back on top. I'm just going to pass. I'm going to take 2 cards from them if possible. Endurance, Force of Vigor, Force of Vigor. Okie dokie. Hopefully draw land. Just Blood Moon him out of the game. Kind of Blood Moons us out of the game also. But then they can't cast Violent Outburst. Unless they Force of Vigor. Can't cast Shardless Agent either. That's fine. I'll Blood Moon both of us. I could draw out of this. I'm gonna get Island. Pitch the Wake Curve Waves. Still need Forest to cast the 2 Cascaders. I'm actually gonna flip that. Yeah, I'll play this land. I'm gonna flip this, make it 3/3. Kind of good to be able to discard Seasoned Pyromancer, put it in the graveyard. I really want to draw like a Ragavan or a 1-drop. That'd be ideal. Oh, I drew a Chalice. Neat. Well, I'm gonna cast that and I'm gonna cast Spyro. I do have Force of Vigor. That's fine. Those are not good draws. Because I have to Force of Vigor, hit 3rd land drop, and hit a Cascader. They can do all that, they win the game. If not, they lose the game. There's the Force of Vigor. Do they have 3rd land drop plus Cascader? Nope. They don't. It's been a while since I've seen E-Tron. And drop the Terminate. A Persistent Ragavan in paper. But unfortunately on MTGO it says non-legendary. So you don't even get to kill your own Ragavan in MTGO. Have Tron on 3? Probably, right? I've been a Kroxa here. I think this build's going to struggle a lot with Drawn. It's my prediction. Maybe not with Eldrazi Drawn, but I think with traditional Drawn we're pretty slow. Blood Moon? I think I'm just going to Spyro, drop Mountain Fury. I just want to dig to a Blood Moon as fast as possible. They got a tower. It means with the expedition map to have full Tron, so I need to find Blood Moon as fast as possible here. The scam spell that comes into play untapped is Undying Evil, which we don't even play anymore. Now we're going to drop Land Fury here. And we'll play Ragster. We're just going to hope that they don't have a board wipe. Chances are we're not beating a board wipe. Rack the map, get Tron. Yep. No Ugin. If it is an Ugin, I hope it's an Ugin the Ineffable. Dismember. Ballista. Chalice on 3. Alright, I think what we're gonna do, flip this invasion and attack them. I'm just gonna get back Kroxa. I'm gonna play this land though. They discarded basic wastes. Ugin? Man, they didn't have that last turn, so they ripped that off the top. Let's get the Persist Fury. Brutal. And we got a 2-turn clock on them, but they do have a Cinder Barons. Let's see what the opponent drew. Yeah, we're probably gonna block in Malice. Drew a land. I'm testing out Kroxa. I'm not sure how good Kroxa is right now. I think Kroxa is a little bit better than he used to be. I'm gonna play the land draw with Castle Locthwain. So we trade here, we come back as a 4/4. Play Swamp, Locthwain, pass. That Persist isn't terrible. Drew an Ulamog? No. No. Oh my god. We died. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Is there a way we can get out of this? We cast Kroxa, draw Lightning Bolt, bolt them. Maybe. We gotta draw Lightning Bolt. They need to draw land. And get this countered by Chalice. So I put one more card in the graveyard. The 19th card, the 20th card was a Lightning Bolt. Thoughtseize. That's not quite a Lightning Bolt. So if we drew a Lightning Bolt, we could go Lightning Bolt them, then bring back Kroxa. He can Persist Spyro. I just can't win though. Alright, you got me. Dobbins. I can't believe they drew the Ugin into the Ulamog. Both top deck. You making me so mad, Tron. You know that? You making me so mad. What are you playing paper? I don't play paper. I have Murktide and like 3/4 of Scam in paper. I have like an old build of Scam in paper. I don't play paper. I sold Breach. Disassembled it and sold it. Mulligan. I put back Persist over a land. Maybe second Ragavan. I think I'm going to keep second Ragavan. I'm going to put back Persist. Hand's riding pretty hard on this Blood Moon. Alright, no Thought Nuts here. Chalice on one. I'm totally fine with Ballista. Alright, Swamp. Blood Moon. Hope it's good enough. Couple turns we get to cast Fury. Map for wastes. Persist looking awful here. Hot Nuts here. Arn. Uh-oh. I need to draw land. An invasion or red card. Something. Golos. Reef for Golos. Have another Dismember. Take the Golos. Aren't so good here. Bridge. Thinking of giving up paper to play MTGO and Arena. I like the convenience of MTGO and Arena, for sure. Less so of Arena, but the convenience of MTGO is super nice. Playing another card. Getting a Cityscape Leveler. One, two, three, four, five, six. So I take the Worm Coil. I have Karn. Do I want to Fury away the Karn? Probably not. I think I'm going to let them minus again. If they get a bridge, I'll pop it with Kolaghan's Command. We're out of Halo music. Lo-fi Lord of the Rings. I'm interested. What is this? Concerning Hobbits. Alright, well now they have mana for All Is Dust. It's concerning. Alright, let me deal 2 damage to the Karn. I imagine I'm going to untap, cast All Is Dust. At which point we can go 2 damage to them, pop the Chalice. I drew Reality Smasher. Destroy. Maybe I'd get the Ragavan. 3, 4, 5. So they're gonna have Cityscape Leveler. Let's just make them discard. Discard, kill Chalice. Attack them for 2. Discarded Cityscape Leveler, which makes sense. Is this spell or ability? It's just spell. If I commit this Fury and scam it, then they just All Is Dust and I have nothing. And now they have All Is Dust in hand. It's their last card. I just pass, right? They probably don't even cast All Is Dust though. I'm gonna pass here. I think committing the Fury is a good way to die. Now they're gonna cast Cityscape Leveler and kill me anyways. Alright, we're dead. GG. I don't think there was a line that got me out. The fact that they killed both of my Ragavans, that's what killed me. Now we're playing as Coffers. These big mana decks are a nightmare for scam. Ugh, such a nightmare. Gonna take the card. You're running these big mana decks way more in leagues than in the actual tournaments. Actual tournaments, these things aren't existent. You'll play against it like once in a blue moon in the tournament. Yeah, this deck does very well against Tron. They just have like infinite fields. Their deck's not an 8-rack deck. It's a big mana deck. Thoughtseize you. Karn, March, Shadow, Fatal Push, Fatal Push. I'm going to take one of the 2 Karns. I'd like to take that other Karn. At some point. I think I'm going to bin Fury Grief. Alrighty, opponent. What you got? Marcher. They had a leftover mana to crack Relic, so casting the Undying effect doesn't do anything. I would just save it in my hand to discard to the battle. Or Future Spyro. Okay, they're cracking the Relic now. That's okay. I think they're going to play that Karn at some point. Sometime soon. I could scam out this Fury, but my worry about scamming out the Fury is that if they have another March, they just get me. I think I might wait for another land and then just play Fury and have Undying Malice. I could just play secondary Fury for now. What's Mono Black's answer to Blood Moon? They just play a bunch of basics. Also Invoke Despair, but Invoke Despair is not a good answer under Blood Moon. They have 1 black pip and Invoke Despair needs 4. They're not going to invoke me anytime soon. They ended up having the March, as I predicted. The Relic. This is pretty good. Get to take the other card. They could crack Relic and then Fatal Push. Must have another March in hand. Yep, Urborg is still legendary under Blood Moon. Okay, they triggered Revolt that way, which is like kind of a fancy way of doing it. They passed the turn. Seasoned Pyro. Here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna cast Seasoned Pyro. I think I'm gonna bin these 2. The Bolt and the Undying Malice. Still have that March in their hand, so I don't really want to commit out the Fury quite yet. Which might be me playing too conservatively. But I think committing the Fury into the Undying, or into the March rather, is probably not a game-winning line. Oh, they drew that off the top. Ouch. Ouch. I still have the March in hand too. I'll save this land in hand. When they inevitably March me. And then I draw like a invasion. Get to pitch the land. I might Terminate. Just to prevent them from gaining life. March kills. It does X damage. I'm only doing it for 4. I'll hold on to the Terminate. If they were doing it for more than 4, I'd consider casting the Terminate. I think I'll just hold on to it. But I could use this as like a Boros Charm essentially. Dealt 4 to them. They're 1 swamp away from casting Invoke Despair. Which is pretty bad for me. Alright, we're going to cast Spyro. So we're going to play the land out. I'd like to draw a Kroxa here. Best I could do, Persist. Another Damnation. Here's Kroxa. We'll cast Kroxa, see what they discard. And we'll Persist back Spyro. Draw a couple cards. I'm actually going to bin this Marsh Flats instead of playing it out because I just want more cards in the graveyard for Kroxa. I bin to Fatal Push. Bring back Spyro. Bin this land, get +1 card for Kroxa. Another Persist. We'll hold on to these. We might persist the Spyro again, and then discard this land also for +1 card for Kroxa. Yeah, they were so good at stabilizing. They've just been at 10 plus life for the entirety of the game. Kroxa. Discard a field, take a bunch of damage. Dash a Ragster at them, send in with the squad. Part of me almost wants to Fatal Push this Seasoned Pyromancer just so I can persist it again. But I think they're going to kill it anyways. Alright, Kroxa won me the game. Let's go, Kroxa. Alright, take the Blood Moons. Take the Fables. Terminate out. Kolaghan's command is probably good enough because they have Ensnaring Bridge. I think we leave the rest like it is. Submit. I don't really want any of these. Persist seems really bad in this matchup. Them having infinite relics. The Kroxa is probably pretty bad for the same reason. Maybe I could take out a couple Lightning Bolts. But Lightning Bolt kills Karn when it minuses. Nah, I think Archon's pretty bad in Scam. I think it's a dead draw way too often. It's not castable. Just never gonna get the 8 mana. We'll try this. But my prediction. Alright, well, Leylines means that all Undying effects are gonna be eaten by Spyro. Night's Whisper, Leyline in the Void, Shieldred. I think I take... Considering taking the Night's Whisper, I should just take the Shieldred. I think Shieldred's a better card. I don't have any answers to Shieldred if they ever get to stick it. I could pitch Grief and make them discard it. But I'm probably going to hardcast Grief this game. Pass the turn, go Fable. Yeah, we're definitely going to hardcast these Griefs. I don't think it's Whisper for the take, because the game's going to go long no matter what. I think if I could take a late game threat that I can't answer, like Shieldred, it'll be better for me. Send back Swamp. More Grief, alright. I was just taking the damage, so we'll go Bloodstained Mire, crack it, play Grief. See what they're working with. Hopefully their hand's not too good. Damnation, Leyline, Leyline. You can keep your Leylines. They have Field of Ruin and Cabal Coffers as their lands. I have one more basic, which is really important for Field of Ruin. I could easily top deck something and get right back in this game. Like if they ever draw an Invoke Despair, make me sack my Fable. It's pretty doomed. Pretty heavily relying on this Fable right now. Oh, the Thoughtseize bug let them draw another Damnation. Excellent. I'll Grief him again, take a Leyline. I just want to get a Grief down for copying with Reflection. And I'm going to set a draw step stop and Grief them in the draw step. I decided they had something to cast. 8 mana? It's 8 mana. March? Foolish opponent. Not hitting my Reflection? Don't you know I have the 3rd Grief? Yeah, it is the wrong choice. I think you hit the Reflection there every time. Just makes my Seasoned Pyromancer so good too. Drew Field of Ruin. As a Stone Rain, if you want to play it. So what's instant speed? March is instant speed, Fatal Push is instant speed. They should definitely hold this for Fatal Push. Let's go Spyro, bin these two. Attack them and then draw step Grief again. I really want to take them off of Damnation and Invoke. You draw an instant speed removal spell. It sounds like it takes Karn from them. Man, took Invoke. Yield Grief Lock. A classic. I think I'm going to send Grief and the Elemental token at Invasion Spyro at them. The Invasion speeds up my clock quite a bit. Flip it. And then I'll cast another Spyro. I'm going to bin these two. Because I really want to hold this Feign Death. In case they rip like instant speed, whatever. Then draw a step, we'll grief them again. Untap, make tokens, and kill them. Got your relic, opponent. Hope they let me do the thing. That'll be so sweet. Cast Fable. And then play land, copy Spyro. Alright, let me do the thing, opponent. It'll be cool, trust me, trust me. Copy Spyro, bin this, make tokens, and the whole squad gets haste. Bonk. 28 damage coming across. Interesting. Well, that was pretty sweet. I really like the invasion. I didn't like the persist. Didn't you doubt me, Manny? Hold up. Are you gaslighting me? I didn't care for the persist too much, but I did like the invasions. Invasions were pretty tight. So I think if I wanted to edit this list and play it again, I would take out the persists. Maybe go up a Fable or two in the main deck. You probably don't need to go up the Fables. You could play Dothy or something. Something better in the 2-drop slot. Dothy Harvester. I tried Dothy. Alright, chat. What should we play next? Should we run it back? I haven't looked at any decks on Goldfish this week. Anybody find any cool ones?
Have you
Bing
peeked?
bong, bing bong, bing bing bong.
Have you peeked?
You're a third-rate duelist.
I can't take it anymore.